Can we have Mr. M. Hidayath, Executive Director, Trump India? Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Hidayath.
Morning, everybody. Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you, Preeti, for inviting for this very nice platform. The best part I liked about the platform is the Makers of Bharat, and it's a great initiative. Thanks, Dinesh, to bring up this topic. That I think it's a big responsibility for all of us to make our country the best, and not only best internally but also best across the world. So it's a privilege to be here and also share our experiences of how we look at it from TRUMPF point of view. I represent TRUMPF. I'm the director of TRUMPF, which is a German company based in Stuttgart, and it's a 100-year-old company. So a lot of learning from what TRUMPF does and what machines we make. I'll come back to that later. But yeah, the topic here is two important things: is Makers of Bharat is, I think, it's a responsibility for each one of us. And when we say make, also make it with quality. It's, I think, the second important part of making it. I think the best. I had heard somebody saying. Of course, it's a line from a movie saying, "Success के पीछे मत दौड़ो, excellence के पीछे दौड़ो. Run behind excellence. Success झक मार के आपके पीछे आएगी." That's one of the best lines I've heard, because I think it's not only about success, it's about excellence. It's like another very important line is, whatever you do it to the best. Even if you are stitching a cloth, do it to the best. So quality is, again, like our colleague said here, it's not only about a one-time situation, it's about a mindset. And unless we start thinking quality in every stage, we don't deliver quality. So that's the reason why we deserve a good quality. Quality of life. If we start with quality of life, the roads we travel, the buses the cars we are in, the two-wheelers we are in. Everything needs quality to be built in. If you don't have quality there, then the quality of life is gone. So it's a very important parameter. I would say it is. I think it's very crucial part of the whole journey is how you look at things, on how you deliver the product which is going to make life better for everyone. That is everywhere. You have a standard of quality. It's not only in the books. But like I said, it's in the mindset on how you improve everything. Why are the other countries, the countries from, let's say, Germany or Switzerland, like Mr. Narang said, are better, is because they are able to make better quality products. Now, what does the quality mean? Quality means perfection. Quality means excellence. Quality means everything inside, at every point of the process or the production, you go through the whole process. So again, going back to Dr. Mahanwar, we was talking about quality of education. It's again, the whole thought process comes from the education, wherein I still don't remember any subjects which are stressing more on quality at the education level. It's very important that the students who are coming out of the universities or the colleges need to have a very high of course, introduction to quality factors. How many of them know the quality standards which are used in India? How many of them know the quality standards of the international standards like CE certification or UL certifications? Each one of them has been drawn to define certain parameters which make the product better. At the end, it makes it more valuable than what you are doing right now. That is, I think, one of the important factor which is missing, I would say, drastically. And again, it goes back to R&D, like our colleague said. And R&D is one of the very important factor, because that's where you also spend on how to improvise on what you make. So to do that, I think there's a lot of also efforts has to go into R&D. It's again, of course, we are talking about R&D and R&D costs. Of course, it's a costly affair. Like TRUMPF, we spend our annual turnover is about 5 billion euros. So we spend almost 500 million euros, which is equivalent to 5,000 crores in Indian rupees per year for the R&D. That's a huge amount of money going, and that's how we innovate product, make it better and better every day. But yes, it need not be to that standard. Of course, that high investment, and it's again the R&D is again a thought process. I mean, Thomas Alva Edison did not have an R&D lab. He just had a thought process on how to make a bulb. So that's how it's all about. The thought process again on what is the best resources which you can use, and still try to find a good strike between the R&D and the quality output. This is what is going to make us better people of country, better citizens of the country, and also better people in the world. And that carries a very important responsibility. It's only not about producing, but it's about producing to the best of what is possible. And that gives a satisfaction of being the best in what you do. Of course, that is one of how many of you know what is the export of India in the world market? What is the percentage of exports? Any guesses? No, close is about 1.7%, which is a very, very small factor in the whole world. The whole world is the market, and we are doing just 1.7% of this. And when it comes to engineering products, even if it is even lesser it's even lesser than 1%. Why are we in this situation? Not that we cannot make quality products. When Tata launched the Airbus C295, and when we are able to send our satellites to the moon, we can make quality, not that we cannot. Of course, there is a possibility. But on the other side, our mangoes are getting sent back, our rice is being sent back because they don't qualify the quality. So there's something really, a big gap in the whole thinking or the thought process, or in corruption in the whole system on one side, and on the other side, the focus is missing on the other side. Yeah, we are capable of making quality products for sure. Of course, we have the best talent in the country. We have the best knowledge of the people in the country. We have a huge young manpower in the world, and definitely we are. And if I look at our other country next door is able to do it 10 times more. We are at 1.7. They are at about 21%. So 21% of what they are doing, they are supplying to the world market. It's a factory for the whole world, the China, which is next to us. But again, China was also focusing more on the quantity and not the quality. That's why they were perceived to be the cheap company, cheap products coming from there. But now China also realized in the last 3-4 years, they have realized, and there has been a very strict quality control, and they also launched a new program. If for you to know, that it's called a New Quality Productive Force in TRUMPF, which is a 15-year plan to improve the quality and the value of the products across the world market. And this is when China is able to realize, and of course they would go further beyond 21% of what they are doing by generating more quality products from there. So it's about there is a market. Why we are unable to export more is because of the quality standards. And we also, I would like to share a small thing about our learning through the quality curve. When we wanted to start TRUMPF manufacturing in India. TRUMPF is a German company. They never believed that we can make machines in India. They said, India, so forget it. I mean, we don't want to talk about it. You cannot make machines. Sachin and my senior colleague, Mr. Patil, we had to make more than 2,000 slides and version 34 number of PowerPoint. So many iterations, and then to convince Germany, it took us about 5 years to come up saying, yeah, we can make quality machines in India. India machine tool has a history of 70 years of experience in making machine tools. It's only about the thought process. We need to bring in the German quality into our products, and we were able to successfully make it. As we started our manufacturing process last year, manufacturing plant last year. That's a classic example, I would say. I mean, And then we realized, after we started, of course, we made the slides, we convinced Germany, they invested, we put in a plant. Then from day one we started, and then they said what to do next, how do we had to send our team for 4 months to Austria to get trained. The whole complete production team there. Of course, it was a lot of expense, and we had to send them to get trained. And then they came back, they started making machines in last February. We could not get a release of this machine till August. It took almost about 8 months. In spite of making the best machine, there were n number of quality checks from the Germany team. It's a standard product which we are already making in Austria, in China, but we are making the same thing in India. They did not believe us. They had to still check, go through all the checks. We went through, I think, so many standards in the SAP, and even today, it has to go through several quality checks at every stage of assembly of the machine. We are not even manufacturing, we're just assembling the machines. Imagine if we go to manufacturing, what would be the quality checks? Then we realized what quality means. And then when this product comes out, you cannot make out whether this is made in India or in Germany or in Austria or in China. So that's called standardization in quality. That's called globalization. And that is what I think we need to start learning. And of course, there is no doubt that we can make machines. And like Makers of India, we are proud to have a machine. And we named the machine as Pride of Bharat. It deserves applause for sure. And thanks to our team. And it was a good learning that, of course, we came up with a product which we are able to put it on the world map now. And then we will start exporting this after some time. So we have gone through this journey. So now we know what quality means, and we know how important it is and how it makes a difference in the whole performance. And especially when it comes to sheet metal applications, of course, quality has been there as TPM, TQM in various metal cutting segments in the automotive industry for a long time. But when it comes to sheet metal industry, it was always ignored, I would say. That is why the aesthetics, it all depends on the aesthetics. If I made a beautiful machine inside, but if the machine cover is shabby, if the machine color is shabby, if the powder coating, the surface coating is not so good, then you don't feel the quality of this product. Once you take anything in your hand, you first look at the aesthetics of it, right? So it all depends on how you present the product, and sheet metal quality makes a lot of difference. And every process in making the sheet metal, when you do the laser cutting, bending is mostly ignored. After you cut the sheet and then bend, and if you don't bend it with high quality, then you have gaps. Then you have to fill it with the welding material. Then again, a lot of post-processing required, and you still don't get a good quality. So every process in the whole making of product requires standardization, requires quality consciousness. Thank you very much. I don't want to give a big lecture on this. Thanks a lot. Yeah.